Welcome to the Wealth Embodied Podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Faringer, an attorney, spiritual guide, and wealth activator. I'm here to help you align your mindset for abundance and break through any glass ceilings with money. If you're ready to embrace your highest calling, manifest with more ease, and create a life that feels lighter and more aligned, then let's dive in. Hello, welcome to the Wealth Embodied Podcast. I'm your host, Brianna. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Okay, so I have a really great topic today. Well, I think every topic is great, but this is one that I like because I don't know if it's talked about all that much, and it's something that comes up a lot in one-on-one sessions I do with people. When I say one-on-one sessions, I offer different types of sessions, right? So I do money mindset work. But if people are coming to me for an intuitive session or an intuitive reading, meaning they may just book a session with me and I am using my intuitive abilities to channel messages for them that I relate to them, this is something that comes up a lot. And, the information that comes through for any one person is specific to that person. So I'm taking a topic that just comes up a lot and I'm trying to relay it across a very generalized space for people to connect to. And this is about talking to your guides. And I'm going to get into the reasons why this comes up so much and the reasons why it's so important to practice if it's not something that you do in your life. If it's not something you believe in, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you to do it. Although I know for myself and for people who have done work with me and who do a lot of personal development work and, lean into their intuition, this is something that can dramatically change your life. So, if it's something that you don't agree with or you're not interested in or you don't think it exists, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. I would just ask you to be open and curious to all of the ways that you can be supported. And this is one of them if you choose to do it. And honestly, I'm kind of at this point in my life where I'm like, why wouldn't anyone do this? Why wouldn't you want help from any place that you could get it, knowing that it's coming from a loving, supportive space? And the only intention is to help guide you to your most aligned path so that you can live a joyful and easeful life. So talking to your guides. The information I'm going to share is based on my experience and on the information that comes through in sessions for people. So I'm going to really use that. If you've heard somebody else talk about this differently, there's no right or wrong way. There are other people out there that may say that there is a right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way to talk to your guides. It's what is aligned for you. And what I'm sharing with you is what is based on my experiences and the information that comes through in Akashic Records sessions I do for people. So if you hear another way of doing this, don't take that as, that it has to be done this way or that way. That comes up a lot. I think in the spiritual world, people feel like there's these rules that they need to follow. Maybe that's true with some things. I can't think of something off the top of my head, but my position is that there's no rules. It's what's aligned for you. Find what's aligned for you and continue to do that over and over and over again and change it as it goes along if it doesn't feel aligned. But don't be discouraged by people telling you, this is the way I do it, and then you think that it's wrong or that I am telling you to do something, and there could be a number of other ways out there to do this. So I want to point that out because you have to do what's aligned for you. I'm not just going to tell you do X, Y, and Z, and that's how you have to do it, and that's the only way. I'm going to go through some things that are absolutely imperative if you want to be able to talk to your guides. You can't skip these steps. You have to do them because otherwise you're not going to be able to actually pick up on what's coming through. But yeah, there's no right or wrong way. And with everything that I teach and everything that I do with my clients, it's not about right or wrong. It's about finding what's aligned for you, taking the information that you get from all different places and figuring out what makes sense for you and your life. So I'm going to give you some guidance. Do what you will with it. You don't have to, do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. I'm going to go through some things that I think will be helpful. So why does talking to your guides matter? It matters because I'll tell you one thing that I think will hopefully give it some more importance than what people normally give to it. It comes up all the time when I'm doing intuitive sessions for people around money. Always, always, always. It's one thing that will come up a lot. And the reason is because the more you can start to trust outside of yourself, trust other people, trust non-physical energies, trust the things that are outside of you, and allow things to come in without you trying to control everything, is helpful for abundance and money. It's helpful for everything, but it's particularly helpful with money. The more you trust in the universe, or whatever you call it, the more you trust in yourself and things outside of yourself, the more abundant you will become. So that's one thing. The other reason that it matters is you can get a lot of information that can shortcut things for you. And I know people love a shortcut. So sometimes there's not a shortcut, but you may get information that guides you to do something that you might not have been able to see for yourself because you're too caught up in your mind. Our minds lie to us, our bodies don't. I say this all the time. Our minds will lie to us, our bodies don't. If you are a person who is constantly in your mind, you will tend to be doing things sometimes that don't feel aligned, and it will take you a long time to figure that out because your mind is all telling you all of these things that you need to be afraid of. There's fears that you may fail, that people may judge you, that people may not like you, all of these things, and it creates, or I should say informs, the action that you take in your life. So if you are more in tune with your guides and you're relying on them and just at a minimum communicating with them, you are going to find that things become easier, but you have to do it. You have to practice. And, I don't really know when I realized my guides were present, to be honest with you. That's something that I don't have an exact time that I can point to. I can point to a time in my life where I started to recognize I was getting help from places in the non-physical world. I think I kind of always knew that my whole life, but I think I started to really tune into it in around 2016. So that was 9 years ago. There were some things that happened that made me start to be like, oh, something else is helping me. And at that time, I wasn't exactly clear on who or what it was, but I just knew that it was. And I'm not going to go into why I know that. I had all of these things happen and I'm like, I'm being guided by something outside of myself. And that became very clear. But I didn't really start becoming very in tune with non-physical energies until probably 3 or 4 years ago. So one thing to know about your guides, this comes up a lot. This is the thing that probably comes up more often than most when a message like this comes through. A person will get a message that they need to connect more with their guides. And the response will be, how do I do that? And the topic that usually follows is something along the lines of not knowing whether they're there or not, and also not knowing what to expect. And so this is what I will tell you. In my experience, they are always here. They are constantly present. And just like Wi-Fi is always available, we don't see it, right? Wi-Fi is not something that we see. We know it's there. We know it exists. We know that things in our home are connecting to it, and that our phone and our computers and our TVs and devices and stuff are connecting to it. We don't see it physically happening. But it's always available. We just have to figure out how to connect to it. And that's what I would have you think about with this. Your guides are always there. You just have to connect to them. They're available all the time. They are with you. So you don't have to do anything more than just acknowledge their presence. That's a start. That's the first thing I would do, is just acknowledging that they are there. They know what's happening. They know what's going on in your mind. So you don't have to be talking out loud to them. Just the simple act of being like, hey, I know there are non-physical energies supporting with me, and I acknowledge you. That's it. That's the very first step. Just doing that is very important. Just acknowledging that they are there. and that you don't have to have anything happen, right? This is one thing that then follows when I'm going through this with people. They'll be like, well, the reason I don't know what, like, if I'm connecting with them or not is because I don't hear anything, or like, are they going to be talking to me? Am I going to hear voices? I don't know, to be honest with you. Some people may get messages that way. I get messages in a lot of ways. And the only reason I know that is because I have been practicing this and doing this for a long time. When you're starting out doing this, just the mere acknowledgement of them is important. And then I will tell you what is the next most important thing, which is being present. Being present is, I hate to say there's any one most important thing when it comes to money, but I honestly, like, if it's between like gratitude and presence, that's a toss-up, because they're both so equally important in bringing more abundance in your life and financial abundance in your life. Recognizing what you have and being thankful for it, so gratitude, and having presence, being in your body. A lot of people don't know what being in your body means. I explain that as being present, not being in the constant state of your mind running. Just being, okay, whatever this thing I'm currently doing, I'm in the moment. I'm not thinking about things that have happened in the past. I'm not worried about things that might happen in the future. I am present to the current experience that I am in. The more you practice having presence in your life, the easier this will be. So you don't have to meditate. I've talked about this before. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do anything specific to gain presence. It's just about acknowledging you being in the moment. I think the easiest way to do this is by closing your eyes, which I know if you can't see me if you're not on YouTube, which I'm closing my eyes right now, and I'm just focusing on my breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm not doing anything else. All I'm focused on is my breath. That's presence. If you can do that for a minute, work yourself up to doing it more every day, great. You don't have to meditate. You could just sit and be intentional about not letting your thoughts run. And this is hard to do if you're not used to it. You have to practice. It takes time to develop these skills. Don't just think you're going to sit down once and be like, oh, well, my mind's racing, I can't do this. That's not how it works. You have to practice. And so if you are always in your mind and your mind is running constantly, you would really need to just be intentional about creating space every day, whether it's just 1 minute, to be present. But presence is what opens the doorway to communication. It can be done by breath work. It can be done just by becoming aware of like how you're feeling in your body. Close your eyes and stretch and see how it feels. Like, where's your body feeling tight? Close your eyes and just say, where am I feeling tightness? Is it in my neck? Is it in my shoulders? Is it in my back? Is it in my abdomen? A lot of people carry stress in their lower abdomen and don't realize it. So, just really being like, oh, I'm going to breathe into that space. These are things that are going to get you more present. It could even be turning on your favorite song and just like dancing without even thinking about anything else and just having fun for like 2 or 3 minutes, whatever the length of the song is. Find something that gives you presence. If you're in your car, if you don't get a lot of time to yourself, maybe you have kids, you've got a lot of people living in your household, go sit in your car for 1 minute before you start it up and turn the radio or the music on or podcasts or whatever you do while you drive, and just sit in the quiet. Presence is what is going to bring communication to you and what is going to open this up. And I would think about this like a friendship. If you, or any relationship for that matter, communication is important in a relationship and it grows stronger the more you practice it. If you have a new friend and you never ever even acknowledge them, or you never even reach out to them to do anything, you're probably not going to develop a very good relationship with them because you're not communicating. You're not reaching out to them. You're not making attempts to connect. This is exactly the same. It doesn't matter that you can't see them. You don't need to know who they are initially. It doesn't have, here's what I would say. Your guides can be any number of people. And I know that there are spiritual guides out there and psychics who will tell you who more specifically they are. My experience is that my guides are a collection of people. Some of them are loved ones that have passed that were with me in this physical life. Some are not. They are energies that I've never known before. Some of them I might have been in past lives with. I don't get caught up on the who. And that's what I want you to be aware of. Don't get caught up on who they are right now. We're just trying to form a connection. Just for you being able to say, okay, I am forming a relationship with this new energy, these new people. I don't know who they are. It doesn't matter. You can't see them. You don't need to know who they are, just the same way you don't need to know exactly how Wi-Fi works. You just know that it does. And just know that they are there. And that, if you just really think about, like, if I was trying to build the best friendship with somebody, what would I do? I would talk to them. I would tell them about my life. I would, you can't take your guides out to dinner, but you really can. Like, maybe you want to have an intentional meal at your home with them and just be like, I invite you to share a meal with me. Just thinking about them more like a human relationship of, like, in physical form can be helpful, because you don't have to hear anything back initially. And I'm just saying that because it's about acknowledgement, knowing that they're there. So awareness, presence. And that there's no right or wrong way of doing this. If you want to talk out loud, talk out loud. If you want to journal and write letters to them, journal. If you want to just think something in your head, do that. If you want to go for a walk and say, I'm going to spend this walk with my guides and I just want to, let them know that I'm here, do that. And then once you start to be doing that regularly, you can start to develop an openness and awareness to messages coming through. I can't tell you how messages are going to come through for you. I'm going to just be honest with you. Some people will say you just need to sit quietly and just ask them to provide any information that they want to share with you, or ask a question. And whatever comes through is what comes through, right? Without letting your brain get in the way. But if you're not practicing this is a hard thing to do. You have to really have a lot of presence to start to get to the point where you can be quiet and ask a question and then just develop an awareness about what comes through. I hear things. I don't hear voices, but I will just get words. So it's almost like somebody's talking to me, but it's not out loud. It's a little bit hard to explain. That's more like claircognizance, which is something without reference to knowing it. It's just like I have these things that just come through and I just all of a sudden have the knowledge. I get messages in my body. That's one way I get a lot of messages. I can feel things in my body, and there's certain sensations I know are associated with certain things, so I can get messages that way. I'm also shown things that look like movie clips or pictures, and I will see things very vividly. This is how I get messages. You may not get messages this way, right? And I also get messages through things that are constantly happening in my day. And there's a lot of things that happen in my day. I get messages through music. I get messages through a lot of different things. And so I know people are going to be listening to this and be like, that doesn't narrow it down for me. I don't want to narrow it down for you because it can happen in any number of ways. It's just about being open and developing an awareness of, oh, hey, could this be something? And not, not trying to read into it too much, but just being like open, like, oh, that's weird. This thing keeps happening over and over again. Or, oh, that's weird. I've heard this song on the radio 10 times today. Now, that's not that unusual if it's a brand new song and it's being overplayed on the radio, but I will tell you, I know when I'm getting a message, because I will hear the same song on like every single radio station, and it's not a song that's popular. It's also usually not a song that's even new. Like, I have this happen over and over again with a song that's more than a decade old. And I didn't know it at first, but then I was like, this is so weird, right? This is so weird. So if you're looking for me to give you a specific way to know, I'm just telling you, don't set an expectation for what has to happen, because it's different for everyone. If people will ask me this question during sessions, and if there's specific information to come through, it will. And if there's not, it's about the person going through the process of developing this awareness. They're there. They're helping you. They're listening to you. They want to help you. You have to develop a relationship. And if you're not communicating with them, you can't do that. You can't have a relationship when you're not communicating with somebody. It's the same thing as a physical relationship. So, awareness, noticing signs, symbols, intuitive hits that are coming through. Being trusting, acting on the guidance, even if it feels small. This is developed through practice, practice, practice. I say this all the time, but people will get frustrated because they're like, I'm doing everything and nothing's happening. Well, you might need to just switch things up a bit. That can happen sometimes. You may need to just be more open to the fact that there are other ways that it could be done, or that there's other ways information can come through. Sometimes people are actually directing the way that things have to happen, and they don't realize it because they're expecting for something to be so obvious, like they're going to get a brick in the face. That may not happen. I've had many occasions where I've had so many things happen over and over again that I'm like, okay, obviously this is a message. But that was before I was more really in tune with it. I just would pick up on these things and be like, oh, this is so weird. Why do I keep seeing this thing over and over and over again, right? Like, this is what I'm talking about, developing an awareness and trust. Recognizing how your life has started to shift. This you can do by celebrating your wins. I tell people this all the time, people that I work with, celebrate your wins every single day. There's a win in every single day. There's at least one, if not many. There's usually many. There's at least one win in every single day. A win is not, I won the lottery. A win is not, I had my highest paying client come in. Now, those are wins, but wins are like, it's sunny today. Sometimes that's my win for the day. I got a lot of things done this morning that I got done quicker than I thought. That's a win. I didn't waste as much time as I expected. Anytime I accomplish something, even if it's what I intended to do, it's a win. There's so many things happening in our day that are wins. The more you start to recognize where things are happening for you, the more you can start to really be like, oh, things are shifting. And I just want to reiterate, there's no right or wrong way to do this. And I'm going to say this over and over again because this is something I come across with people. They think that like, oh, well, I have to be very like defined and I have to do these steps. If you prefer rituals or ceremonies and you want to have something more formal, create it for yourself. You can do that. You don't have to follow anything that anybody is telling you to do. Create a ritual around it. Light a candle. Build an altar and go sit at it and just be like, this is the space I like to connect with my guides at. This can be anything that you want it to be. It can be inside. It can be outside. It can be sitting on your couch in the morning. It can be drinking a coffee on your patio. You could do it in the car. You can do it in your office. It doesn't matter where you are. Just do it. And this is another thing is people, I think, sometimes have this weird like fear about talking to something that they can't see. I don't know why. And you're just like, you're going to have to just get over that. Nobody cares that you're talking to somebody you can't see. They don't know. Right? If you're in your car, who cares if you're talking to yourself? If you're in your own home, who cares if you're talking to yourself? If you don't want to talk out loud, write it out. Say things in your mind, but have an exchange of, I acknowledge my guides are there. I'm going to try to have presence in my life. I'm going to communicate with them regularly, even if I don't hear anything back. And I'm going to start to develop an awareness of how they may be coming through to me. Because the more you do those things, the more it will help you. And again, when you are trusting in things outside of yourself, it starts to open up the possibilities to other things that you did not see for yourself. You don't have control over everything that's happening in your life. You have control over your thoughts and your actions, which is a lot. But there are other people around us. There are other things happening around us. We don't control outcomes. And so trusting in things outside of yourself, just taking these steps, is so valuable because it starts to teach you that, number one, you don't have to only rely on yourself. If this is you, I'm telling you, it's so much easier to trust and surrender to things outside of yourself than it is to solely think you have to rely on yourself. That's how I lived for 4+ decades of my life, and it was not fun looking back on it. I'm much more trusting. I'm much more open. I know that my life is the way it is today because of the non-physical energies that exist in my life and because of the relationship I have with them. And I'm still developing it. I'm still continuing to develop it. I'm still learning more things about them. I'm still learning more about who they are and who they're made up of and what types of energies there are, female, masculine, where they came from. I'm learning more information. This is going to come with time, right? So you don't think you have to know everything or you have to be able to identify who they are. It doesn't matter who they are right now. Just start to develop the relationship and the connection. It's so important to do. And I know that if you just take some of these steps, even just doing it a minute a day, it will greatly change how you start to feel about things in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I also do want to say one thing that I did recently make some changes to offerings on my website. I'm still offering the same types of sessions. I just changed the amount of time that I do them. So I used to offer 45-minute sessions. I've recently reduced those down to 30 minutes for reasons that I was just called to do that. And it feels more aligned right now for me to do that. You can get an enormous amount of information in 30 minutes. And I wouldn't do that if I didn't think people could get what they needed. But there were some things kind of happening in my world, and I was getting messages that this was something that I should try. So I'm throwing that out there because when I reduced it down to 30 minutes, my sessions, the price went down a little bit. So if you want to do a session with me, I'd love to do that. It's my favorite thing to do. We can talk about money. We can talk about anything you want. You can get intuitive guidance about any topic that you want. But my sessions are now $222 for a 30-minute session. I would love, love, love to have a session with you if it feels aligned. Thank you so much for listening to Wealth Embodied Podcast. Have a great day. Bye.
Hey, before you go, would you love to receive my 3-step masterclass to easily create and hold wealth for free? It's called Effortless Money, and it includes the exact framework to start attracting money effortlessly and manifesting abundance with more ease. If you want it for free, all you have to do is leave an honest review of the Wealth Embodied Podcast, take a screenshot of this episode and put it in your Instagram stories and tag me at Brianna_Faringer, and we will send you the free Effortless Money Masterclass. This is how my clients have manifested a $13,000 check, a promotion resulting in a $30,000 salary increase, and significantly improved relationships. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time on the Wealth Embodied Podcast.